know, but for us, most importantly, we said it last week, and it's about winning, and we're not going to try to live up to what somebody else expects of us and how we do things, and we all would like some things a little bit better, but the reality is that it's a hard-fought game with lots of shifts in momentum and a lot of things that went on this week that our guys had to handle, and thought they did a good job of it, and to find a way at the end to come up the way we did, especially down there on the goal line, that defense, we were definitely tested. Give those guys a lot of credit. They played a really good game. There were some things I kind of knew going in based on the championship game last year. I think the 3 times I've played them, that I come out of the game every single time saying that's a much better football team than maybe their record shows. And but for us, we know darn well sometimes the best thing is to have a quicker turnaround. Now we got a Friday night game, so we don't have a whole lot of time to kind of rest and lick the wounds of things that happened. But when you know there's some ways to get better, it's the best thing you can do is get right back to work, and probably going to be good for us to have a quicker turnaround on a Friday night game. Any questions?
Can you, those last, I guess, 3 possessions, the stop and then the turnover and then the stop again, what's going through your mind?
I don't know. It's kind of a blur to me right now, to be honest with you, how that happens. But no matter what, you got to find ways, and probably the one thing that was a little bit disappointed, offense, I thought we moved the football. I thought up front we did a really good job. When it was coming down the 3rd, 4th quarter, a couple key, we had an opportunity to make some plays down the field. That's threw some good balls. We didn't make the plays. You turn around, we give up obviously a lot of runs. They get the ball down to the 3-yard line. You just find a way to make plays. You get the ball back some way, somehow. You find a way to make 4 more plays. Those are the things that we got to come out of this thing really kind of looking at and saying that this is a fighting crew. This is who we really are. It might not be flashy, it might not be perfect, but those guys in that locker, that's more of what we have kind of prided ourselves on.
What happened on the snap with Dez? Was it a good snap that he fumbled? It was kind of hard to tell on replay.
It's really hard to tell. I know he said to me that it went right through my hands. So I would no complaint. I couldn't say, hey, I think he was down or some sorts like that. He was pretty rolled right off and said it went right through the hands. So I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if they got off on a good shot and knocked it back in some way somehow, but things will get better at it.
Look, what does it say about your defense that they were able to make some big plays, certainly between the 20s, but then in the lower red zone they tightened up? I think it was 8 times.
Yeah, we've been good in the red zone. It's just, it gets a little frustrating. I think that's where some of our guys probably get at times, and some of those runs, those are things you pride yourself on. Then you look down there at the stats, you're like, wow, those aren't things you're happy about. But no matter what, when the ball gets down there, the sign of toughness is how you play in the red zone. And our guys, that's who they are. We know there's some things we got to do better. We got to give them a better opportunity defensively with some schematic things. But when it comes down to it, that's more or less who we are.
It's kind of who Tulsa is, that style of play. It's kind of who Navy is. But are you sensing kind of a trend where teams are trying to control the clock, establish the run, kind of keep your offense up?
Yeah, I think there's some things obviously we gotta look at defensively to do better, and you're playing some 3-down stuff. I think you gotta do some things to give those guys a little bit of an advantage, probably. So we gotta go back to the drawing board, but have some adjustments and some things. Is it the way somebody's playing? I mean, if you really look at it, that's kind of what they did last year in the championship game, and they moved the football on us. They ran it downhill, what we would say too much, but. We didn't do a good enough job of it tonight, but when it came down to it, we did.
You have an upgrade on your own?
No, I don't. No, it was kind of iffy at halftime. Thought we maybe would come out the second half and be able to go, but the confidence level wasn't right there. So hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully we're getting back in here tomorrow, start working on him, and within a couple of days we'll be able to have a better grasp on where he is and what it is.
The possible schematic changes, do you think that's 4 down? Is it more?
No, it's just we just got to put our guys in some situations that they can be a little bit more aggressive. We're playing 6'6", 335 pounds that do a really good job engulfing guys, and we've got to be on the edges a little bit more. We've got to find some ways to the Majay Sanders of the world to keep him on an edge and let him use his strengths. But we've done a really good job in we'll continue to do a really good job.
What was it like having your program spotlighted just nationally like it was today?
Well, it was kind of a pain, to be honest with you. You know, I wish we could enjoy it. I hope that our community, our campus, really did enjoy it. I know being out there for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it was today, was about 8 minutes too long for me, but that's beside the point. It's really awesome. It is. And, it's hard. It's hard when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds and ourselves as well with all the different things going on. But for us in the big picture of things, and it's a huge step, and it's a great opportunity for our entire campus.
You started both halves 14-0. What was it that switched for the offense or what they did on defense that slowed you down?
I don't know. It's just execution. I think those are some of those just making plays. And they had some good coverage and got some good balls thrown and the ability to just make a play. It's the same thing for us tackling wise. We just, we're there and we don't make the play, the ball bounces and it ends up being, 15, 20, 25 yards. That's probably more big play runs we've given up in the last 3 years. And, it has a lot to do with tackling. We'll go back to work at it.
Luke, is this what you kind of envisioned for the program? You've been through this at Ohio State, but did you kind of envision this kind of hype when you came here?
I don't know. You're so green in what you're doing, and you're just trying to find ways to win. And you didn't know what all the other things out there were really going to be. I didn't know what Nippert Stadium really looked like, or what it could really be like. To be honest with you, the first 2 years, even as we started winning, it was nothing like this, and even in year 3, and then obviously last year with the pandemic. So maybe for a brief moment that's what you envision and you hope for, but there's so much work to be done that you kind of forget about all those things, and that's why even asking about the spotlight of today, you forget about where sometimes you've come from, just being in a support and in a following, whether it's the students, our campus, and things like that. And you got to be proud. You got to kind of hopefully take a step away and smile about it a little bit and enjoy it some way somehow, and then go back to doing what you do.
You've been around a lot of great receivers in your career. Alec Pierce, with all the things that he can do, what are your impressions of him overall?
He continues to impress, and I think that there's a guy that we moved to defense, I think, after a year and a half here, and so I think he's even still continuing to grow as a receiver and more dynamic. But he's tough to deal with, because sometimes you just think, well, he's just a bigger guy, and then you realize how fast he is, and then you realize how well he can go up and play the jump ball. And I think he has continued to progress to be a really, really complete wide receiver, and we're going to need him down the stretch.
Pace and Beavers are two guys we've talked about on this defense all year. They make both those stops down there on the goal line. Should that not be a surprise when you come up with plays like that?
No, players make plays, and when you get down there tight and close, there's not a whole lot of scheme involved. It's you can't hesitate. You got to trigger, you got to fire, and don't forget about Will Huber, who doesn't play a ton of ball, but went down in there in that last series and really, really played big for us. And it's hard. Those defensive linemen, they get frustrated because they're running the football, and you try to figure out where is it exactly, and then for them guys to kind of bow up down there in those last 2 series, I'm really proud of.
What is it like to be in a position where if you guys do win all your games, it might still not be enough? What is that like?
I don't know. I won't think about it. Won't worry about it. We'll let everybody else outside. We'll take. We've got 3 more regular season. We'll take 3 one-point wins. Whatever it takes to find a way to continue to win. The great thing about this one is I think you can probably sit down here later tonight and say, I don't think we played our best ball, and we found a way to continue to win. And, they earned a lot of things, but we gave them a lot of opportunities, and when it comes down to it, they still found a way.
Is that a little bit of a weight off for your players that, all right, we've seen where they're going to rank us even if we're undefeated, so just now don't worry about style points?
I thought that was kind of what was happened this week, but it's still things that are constantly in their heads, and again, there's so many different things. It's always like that. You could have having a season like we had in year 1, and you're worried about all the different things that people are saying, and well, they're going to leave, they're going to train. There's so many things that go on with these 18 to 22-year-olds. The thing I try to make sure they understand is that locker room is what's special. And people can say, you can be disappointed on, we gave up whatever rushing. We didn't play great up front. We did it, and then you lose really the sight of what this is all about. Your ability to celebrate with those guys that you work so hard with and sacrificed for. And some people can strip the joy from you. And you know, as a coach, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'll probably go home and do it to myself maybe at some point in time, but I won't do that to them. I want them to enjoy what it is that they've done, and then the great thing about them is they'll come back in tomorrow with a fresh mind and realize that, you know, there's things we got to do a hell of a lot better.
Due to the battle, Luke, what was the last 90 seconds like for you, and how important is it for you to keep composure?
Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, it's a blur. I didn't know what down it was. I just thought it was like backyard football. We just kept playing. I don't know. Give me another chance, you know. I don't know if there's 8 snaps eventually down there. You know, I knew the clock was running, but I didn't know if it was ever going to run out.
You know how many timeouts you had?
Well, I knew we wanted to save it just in case, but you know, those kinds of things just start to go, and you know, when you really come down to it, competitors continue to compete, and you know, there's some people probably at times say, hey, you should let them get in so that you have 1 minute and 35 seconds, so that you have a chance to give Dev the ball back and let him go down and see if you can score a touchdown or kick a field goal, and no, that's not the way we're built. You know, that was something 3 years ago, I think, in the OU game. If anybody remembers, 4 years ago, whatever it was, they had the ball down there on the goal line with like 1 minute 25 to go, and I don't know what we were up or down or whatever, and a lot of people in their minds would probably say, hey, you should let them score, and then you get the ball back, and then you have a chance at the end. And no way in hell we're going to do that. James Wiggins picks the ball off, and the rest is history. And put the ball down. I think Jimmy Nippert said it, right? Put it down, play again, give us another snap, and that's what we're going to be proud of.
How do you deal with the playoff ranking stuff? You have to talk to your team about how you're not going to talk about it, or you just ignore it. They're obviously going to see it. How do you deal with that within your program?
We said it this week. I said, guys, we have no control. Let's let it be. Let's do what we can do, control what we control, and let the chips fall where they may. If you guys continue to win, then at some point in time, at the end of the year, we'll be up there pounding the table. If it ain't good enough, it ain't good enough. That's not. We can do nothing about that. It is what it is, and there's a lot of ball to be played, and that's the great thing about college football. I think that there's always going to be some type of controversy, and if we're happy to be a part of the controversy, we're happy to be a part of the controversy. It'll keep publicizing our program, and it'll keep putting a chip on our shoulder, and we'll keep finding ways to continue to grow.
One more question. All right, we're good.
Thank you.